One of the proofs of the existence of God is the fact that man did not create himself. Nay, his creator and designer is another than himself. It is certain and indisputable that the creator of man is not like man, because a helpless creature cannot create another being. The maker, the creator, has to possess all perfections in order that he may create. Can the creator be perfect? Can the creation be perfect and the creator imperfect? That is to say, can the picture be a masterpiece and the painter imperfect of his art? For it is his art and his creation. No matter how perfect the picture can be, in comparison with the painter, it is in the utmost degree of imperfection. Contingency is the origin of imperfections, and God is the origin of perfections. The imperfections of the contingent world are in themselves the proofs of the perfections of God. All the names and titles and attributes that we call God, Abdu'l-Baha explained, are only to prove that God is incapable of imperfection. If these are to prove that God is incapable of imperfection, how much more to prove the perfections of God? Let us consider the physical sun, that central orb of light, heat, and electricity, and are suspended up in the atmosphere, have not come down to earth to bring its life-giving forces for us to live and survive. No, that is impossible. According to astronomers' calculation, if the distance between the sun and the earth is altered in just 2%, nothing will survive on this earth. Either we freeze to death or we incinerate. If it's altered away from the earth just 2%, we will be freeze to death. If it alters towards the earth in just 2%, we will be incinerated. In order for us to receive the bounty of that central orb of light and energy and heat suspended up in the atmosphere, there must be intermediaries. These intermediaries are the solar rays. Everything that are in that central orb of energy and heat and light suspended up in the atmospheres are in the rays. And every praise that we give to the sun, we are referring to the rays. God is the all-knowing, is inexplainable, inaccessible. It's a pure essence that cannot be described. In order for us to receive the bounty of God, there must be intermediaries. And these intermediaries are the holy manifestations of God. These intermediaries are sent to us by God from different places and different times in what he called the progressive revelation. And they bring teachings and laws that requires and needed for their time. 6,000 years ago, an intermediary named Abraham appeared in Israel. Then an intermediary named Krishna that appeared in India. And he established the Hindu religions and brought a holy book the Veda and the big and the Bhagavad Gita. And then an intermediary named Moses appeared in Egypt. He established the Jews' faith and brought the Torah, which is the Old Testament. And an intermediary named Buddha that appeared in India. He established the Buddhist faith, and he brought the holy book called the Tripitaka. And then an intermediary named Zoroaster that appeared in Persia. He established the Zoroastrian faith, and he brought the Avesta. And then the intermediary named Jesus Christ that appeared in Jerusalem, that established the Christianity, and he brought the gospel, the New Testament. And then an intermediary named Muhammad that appeared in Arabian countries, and he brought the Quran and established Islam. And then an intermediary named the Bab, which means the gate, the forerunner of the coming of Baha'u'llah. He brought the Bayan, and he declared his mission on the 23rd of May, 1844, in Shiraz, in Elam, the old name of Persia. And the latest of all these intermediaries is His Holiness Baha'u'llah, that received his revelation in 1852 in Siachal, an underground dungeon where he was incarcerated, and later on declared his mission publicly in Babylon, where the Persian authorities exiled him to. He declares mission 1863 in Babylon, in the Garden of Rizwan by the Tigris River. And this festival is commemorated by the Baha'is all over the world as the Festival of Rizwan. It took 12 days for this festival to happen. And Babylon is recorded and mentioned in holy books. Is by the prophets, like it was mentioned by Daniel. When the apostle came to Christ on Mount Olive and privately and asked him, "What are the signs of your coming and the end of the world?" And he gave 3 promises, and one of these promises is when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet that stand in the holy place. This holy place that mentioned in here is Babylon. Daniel had his vision while he was in Babylon. You might ask why he was in Babylon. It's because Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonians invaded Israel 600 years before Christ and took all the Israelites as exile to Babylon. And that's how the prophet Daniel end up to be in Babylon. And Baha'u'llah was exiled further by the Sultan of the Ottoman Empire, first to the fortified city of Constantinople, and then to Adrianople, and finally to the fortified city of Akka in Haifa, Israel. Akka is also mentioned in holy books. In Hosea 2 verse 15 state, I will make Akka for a door of hope. In Islamic scriptures it states that blessed is he that visited Akka, and blessed is he that visited the prisoner of Akka. Baha'u'llah arrived in Akka on 1868, and he proclaimed his faith all over the world when he wrote to all the kings and rulers of the world at the time, calling on all of them to come together in unity and peace. And Baha'u'llah passed away in Haifa, in Holy Land, in 1892, and he is interred in the Baji, the plain of Sharon, adjacent in the vicinity of Mount Carmel, the mountain of God that the Israeli prophets of old will be purified and sanctified and glorified by the footsteps of the Lord of hosts in the end times. This was literally fulfilled when His Holiness Baha'u'llah walked on Mount Carmel and showed the center of the covenant, His Holiness Abdul Baha, the spot on the mountain to build the shrine of his forerunner, His Holiness the Bab, and where the Bab is to be interred when his remain is brought over to the Holy Land from Persia, where he was executed. It was in this mount where the headquarters of his faith, the Baha'i faith, is situated, and where the seat of the Universal House of Justice, the highest administrative body of his faith, resides. And on Mount Carmel, all the buildings, including the seat of the Universal House of Justice, are built in a formation of an ark, as like the Ark of the Covenant. And on Mount Carmel is where Baha'u'llah's law is flowing down from to feed his flock. Thank you, and I wish you well. Whaftai lava, manuela whafawhau mainu, whasau Samoa, soifua.